This is the 2017 Nissan 370Z. Not much has changed over the past few years. It still looks essentially the same, but you know what? It is still a really sporty, awesome, unique little car. The first thing that I always noticed with this car were the door handles. They always draw me in. They look very interesting. They're not body colored, they're silver. They look like plastic, but they're actually metal. And they stick out a lot, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely unique. There don't really seem to be a whole lot of vehicles like, roadsters around nowadays that do what this car does. This car has a lot of power, but it's still a very affordable sports car. This car already looks really nice, but the 370Z Nismo is probably the single nicest car that you'll ever see. Right here we have 18-inch rims. If you get the Nismo, you have 19s. This is also available in a coupe. I actually prefer the coupe just because I don't really like soft top convertibles. I don't like the black roof. I've also been afraid that someone's gonna come by and just like stab it with a knife and put a big hole in my roof. I assume that won't happen. You never can be too careful. I just recently watched a video about the Pontiac Solstice because this kind of reminded me of the Solstice. And then I learned that if you want to raise or lower the roof of the Solstice, you have to pull a lever, press a button, get out of the car, pull the roof back, push it in on one side, go around to the other side, then push it in, then snap a piece of the roof into the back trunk, then go around to the other side and snap another piece in. That's very difficult. And I'm pretty sure the Solstice wasn't that much less expensive than this car. I mean, I guess there's a reason Pontiac no longer exists. Even with the older Mustang, you had to lock the roof yourself. You had to pull a lever and lock it in. This is totally automatic. Let's watch as we close the roof. It's very easy to do. You just hold the button, like I'm doing right now. It feels like your head is going, ugh. Oh. Still good. There. So we're looking at the front of the 370Z, and the first thing you might notice is that they're not new for this year, but the past couple years they're new. We have these vertically stacked LED lights, and then we also have HIDs here. It must have been one of the first cars in the Nissan lineup to get the V-shaped lights. So this is Nissan's V6 3.7 liter. It's the same engine that's in the G37 and the Q50. Well, my favorite thing of this engine aesthetically is that it has two filters. I don't know what it's called. Cody, what's it called? Why are there
dual filter climate
dual filter climate control? Cody. Anyways, the engine looks very, very nice. It has two instead of one. So this engine has 332 horsepower. It's a lot of horsepower for a really small car. This car is not a very heavy car. And if you get the Nismo, that gets 350 horsepower. All right, so here we are at the side of the vehicle. As I said, we have 18-inch wheels, and these are Y-rated tires. They're not Z-rated, but Y is still pretty close to Z. You have your smart key access button right there, so you can unlock the vehicle, and heated mirrors. And then, like I said, right here, this is a turn signal, but it is also the Z emblem, so people know that you're driving a 370Z, and also that you're signaling, so you don't crash into people. Now, I think my least favorite part of the car is this antenna. It would have been a lot cooler if they just had like, a little shark fin instead of this big antenna that sticks out, because this makes it look like, I don't know, almost a Barbie car. There. Done. That's much better. And I also really like how the rear end is a lot higher than the front end. These rear shoulders, or the haunches, whatever you want to call them, they stick out quite a bit more than the front. With the 911 turbo, you can tell it's a turbo because the rear end is a lot wider than the front, and this kind of reminds me of that. I am 5'10". Let's see how well I fit in this vehicle. Easy to sit in, it's not too low. It's actually a lot higher than I thought it would be. All right, Cody, you're 6'5". So Cody says that half his field of view is this part here. I'm gonna put the antenna back on because unfortunately that's just part of the car. But I bet you could buy a smaller antenna for this, because I would definitely do that, because that's just kind of silly. There is also a backup camera, and I don't know if this is a brake light or if that is a reflector. Cody, tell me if it lights up. Does it light up? So it is just a reflector. That's still okay. This is how small the trunk is. I mean, I know convertibles always have small trunks, but it says how to store a golf bag. So you can fit one golf bag in here, and it is so tight that there's actually a little picture that shows you how to do it. There's no spare tire, but there's a thing that's shaped like a spare tire. Look at that. This is a very small trunk, but it somehow is still big enough to fit me. Oh, hello. Don't worry about it. I think I got it. Ow. Okay. Don't slam it, just close it a little bit. Yay! I can fit, and it is not that uncomfortable, but I feel like maybe I would end up getting a neck injury. So right here, I don't think it's actual suede. I'm pretty sure it's Alcantara. But I've actually heard that Alcantara actually wears a lot nicer than suede does. It's right here too, and right there. It's really a nice accent. So you have auto up and down windows and nice door handles. The traction control button is really easy to find. It's just right on the left side of the steering wheel. So then you can just turn it off and you can do donuts, your cruise control. What was that about? If you press too hard on this button, it honks the horn. That's good to know. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Every sports car should have the tachometer right in the middle, and it should be bigger than the speedometer and bigger than all the other gauges than it is, which is the way a sports car should be. And you have these really cool left and right turn signals. They're both encased in a little piece of glass. It looks really cool. It looks like something out of a cockpit or something. And then you have gauges here. You have oil pressure, you have your battery power, and then you have a clock. I really like those. And this is a 6-speed. And if you get an automatic, then you get a 7-speed. The power seat buttons are right here. They're in the middle, just like the old G35s were. And then if you want to adjust the bolstering or the height, then you have to spin these dials. And it's actually really difficult to do if the door isn't open because there's not a lot of space. And you also have a USB input. You have RCA jacks, which makes me wonder if you can watch movies on this thing. Maybe you can. But who uses RCA jacks? So this also has navigation. If you don't have navigation, then you're just going to have this big, weird-looking storage space right here. And it's pretty strange. I think it's a handy storage space, but it just looks kind of funny, I guess. There are 4 different trims. There's the 370Z base, the Touring Sport, and the Nismo. So this is the Touring. If you had the Touring Sport, then you have a Sport mode button right here. But right now we have nothing because this is not Sport. This vehicle is, I believe, $51,000 Canadian. You can get it for quite a bit lower, but then you don't have the navigation and all that stuff. But personally, I would just use the navigation on my phone. These are active headrests, so what that means is that if you get into an accident and your body is hurled toward your seat, then the pressure of your back is going to push a lever, and it's going to pull this headrest forward so you don't get whiplash. Whiplash would suck. I'm in my summer clothes. That's why I changed, because it's summer. Let's see. Starting, here we go. Ooh, that has some get up. We're gonna do a time test and figure out how long it takes to put the roof up. Now the first question is, can we put the roof up while we're moving? No, I think it has to be in park. And go, 1, 2. That's product placement, they're paying us for this video. Yeah. There, done.
25 seconds.
25 seconds. I'm pretty sure there are some cars that actually do it in half the time. It's not an outrageously expensive vehicle if you get the coupe. The coupe starts at, I think, in the high 30s. If you want to get into a roadster that is similar to this, I guess the closest thing might be the BMW Z4, and that is like $10,000 more than this, and it is actually slower than this. I think I'd get this over the Z4. Let's figure out how easy it is to connect a phone. I just connected my phone, but now it says connect phone. It's already connected. Why is it saying I need to connect it? If you have your phone connected and you want to play music, you have to go into the settings and select it, even though there's no other phones that are connected. You have to hit the disc auxiliary button a bunch of times. Like, there's no sound at all coming out of the stereo. I think we have a broken car. We could be listening to heavy metal right now, and all we're listening to is heavy sadness. I'm sure it sounds really nice when it works.
Not much give in the suspension, it seems.
No,
It's very rigid.
Whoa.
Very responsive.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Super fun car to drive.
Oof. Just zippy.
Oh, it's super
Isn't it?
zippy. Yeah.
Very comfortable ride.
Yeah.
Not scary.
It is not scary.
No.
What kind of car is scary? If you like what you saw in this video, you should let us know in the comments below and subscribe on YouTube and like us on Facebook. Yeah.
Thanks for letting me drive.
You're welcome.
It was fun.